all personal disqualifications. Switching our mindset yet again, the next discussion topic is in regards to Islamics and what their say is in all of this. The response is definitely more complex than others. When looking through the eyes of medieval Westerners, it is evident that Islams were allegedly tolerant and sometimes even encouraging towards sexual practices between people of the same sex. At the same time, though, the liberal sexuality of the modern Western world is, in turn, perceived as an indication of the growing decadence of the West. The heightened visibility of Western homosexuals was what many Islams considered the decay of the Western culture. This was followed the decreased criminalization of homosexuals. Moreover, it is wrongly assumed that Islams are more disposed to homosexuality than they actually are. When any conservative states attempt a protest or a movement, they will always be repressed from homosexual activities. It will be seen as yet another symptom of Westernization. The Quran, which is a religious text of Islam, explicitly condemns homosexual acts and does not follow up with a specific punishment. Some traditions of the Prophet might display tolerance. Other traditions of the Prophet say that both active and passive partners must be killed. Islamic laws condemns homosexual practices and homoerotic sentiment. Mutual attraction between people of the same sex is considered natural and normal. Discussed first was Christians' homosexuality from the perspective of the homosexual and their feelings. This article will attempt to make clear the views of Christians in more general terms. Christians love to say that God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Adam. When referring to the book of Genesis, it is evident that sexual intercourse and everything related was created to procreate. Christians do not agree with people of the same sex or homosexuals to engage in sexual activities with someone of the same gender because it is a sacred act performed to have offspring. It would not make sense for them to do so if it is impossible for them to procreate successfully. In the book of Leviticus, homosexuality is deemed forbidden with the quote, "If a man lies with a male as with a woman, both of them had committed abomination, and they shall surely be put to death." In some of St. Paul's letters, he refers to homosexuality as unrighteous and claims that men who practice homosexuality will not inherit the kingdom of God. Others might say that they are just following their natural inclinations, which is how God made them, and that should not be condemned. Although this commentary is very black and white, most Christian churches hold the position that you should love the sinner, but hate the sin. This is interpreted that fellow Christians should love and show compassion towards the homosexual, but not support the homosexual acts. This is because most churches say that sex should only happen between and during marriage, and that marriage is between a man and a woman. Skewing away from specific religions for this last part and just looking at homosexuality and religion in general. This article is addressing the statistics that have been taken, asking people if their attitudes towards homosexuality have changed at all with all these protests and movements. 63% of people say that homosexuality should be accepted into society. 47% say that they are born either gay or lesbian. 54% say that there's no conflict between religion and homosexuality, but this can be biased. Most people that suffer choose to suffer in silence because they're too scared to come forward or speak up. This could be in fear that they will be judged or tormented. Millennials are the group of people that is most likely to say that they are gay or lesbian. This does not necessarily mean that there are more gays and lesbians among the millennials than, let's say, the boomers. This is due to the fact that homosexuality has been accepted and appreciated to a certain extent never seen before. A lot of people are more comfortable with coming out of the closet because they feel that they have lots of support from fellow homosexuals and even heterosexuals. Even though homosexuality is at a record high in these recent years, does not mean that religion accepts them to the same extent. Religions can be much more picky in terms of what they deem acceptable, as we discussed before. This can result in very low self-confidence in those homosexuals that are also religious. Concluding off this presentation strong, I can say with no hesitation that every religion has their own way of handling this. This is something that cannot change overnight and will require time and dedication. One day, we will live in a society, though, where everyone is equal and no one is discriminated for the way they choose to be human, because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we should all have each other's backs. Thank you.